Yes, I can hear the process. Oh, chat, yeah. Oh, our voices are coming through on start stream. Or mine. Hold on.
Baby,
Hey,
you know what time it is.
I do.
It's Studio Johnny Q time.
What does that mean?
That means it is time to drop your nerd drawers, baby.
I'm done.
I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm sure it's sexy.
It does sound sexy. All right. Hey, it worked. Okay. All right. And welcome, one and all. Smoothie, just
Nice.
go back to your
Nice
seizure there.
Yeah, nice echo quality going on some of that. But also, I couldn't hear it when you started playing it, so I didn't know. So I was like making popping noises with my mouth and stuff, and I just done it when he's talking, others popping.
That's funny. That's awesome. You know, we do nothing but stick landings here. So, the intro, we own it. We own the intro. Welcome one and all to Edition Through Distraction, your twice a week vodcast, where Randy and I discuss things that interest us, usually of a nerdy pop culture nature. Sometimes we get a little esoteric on it as well. And I work on miniatures and nerdcraft and the such. Randy is working remotely as we're knee deep in the zombie apocalypse and maintaining social distancing and all that so that we don't turn each other into zombies. So, Randy, I appreciate you dialing in. That's why we were late today. So, why don't you say hello, Randy?
Hola.
So, hopefully, we did about an hour and a half, actually, hour and a half. We probably did about 3 hours of testing here. So,
we're supposed to start at 11.
I was running late, so we started I think at 11:30. But yeah, we got a lot of testing in, so we've been diligently working. But the good thing is, I think I learned quite a bit, Randy. So for us to do this in the future, I think it'll be a lot easier going forward. And also, I was just trying to find some of the equipment post flood because I'm using headsets so that we're not getting some of the speaker bleed through, and I can talk to you on Discord and such. And then I have the Twitch chat up, and then you'll be eyeballing any of the YouTube chat. So hopefully this works. And remember,
happy submarine day.
Happy what?
Happy submarine day.
Yes.
Flood.
It was funny.
They may be talking about sandwiches, but whatever floats your.
Anything, I'm sure that Captain Crustaceans will be pleased that subs are getting love in any and all shapes and sizes.
Oh, no, it's definitely submarine. I checked.
Oh yeah. And I guess we should.
Not the same one. Cool.
We probably should wish each other Happy St. Patrick's Day as well, I suppose. I'm assuming that you're wearing green, Randy.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
At
the moment, no. I had a whole costume ready for coming there, but
yeah, I bet you did.
I
was really disappointed. I was like, "Ah, this would have been a fun one to have done together." So,
I had lights up, garland, and
Yeah, I bet it would have been a whole shebang. Let me see here. I'm trying to cooperate a little bit. All right, so yep, over in Master Controllers, we got no Randy over there. But and then Randy, while we're still in our what's that?
I feel like there's Inception going on. Something. It's like I'm there, but I'm not there. I don't.
Yeah, I know. It's like I keep thinking that you're over there, and like, wait a minute, you're not. You're just, but you're here in heart and spirit and voice, so that's what's important. So, yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of people trying to figure out how to do this sort of thing. I know that Carrie, that they're having to do a lot of like video calls and meetings and stuff like that, and it's a crazy time. But Randy, what we really need to talk about is people liking, sharing, subscribing. That's what we really need to talk about, not turning into zombies. So if you haven't already, please like the video, please share, please subscribe. And I think that in the YouTube, Randy, we've been using the Restream, and so Restream was stripping out all the stuff from the description of the YouTube. So hopefully this, if you maybe can even eyeball it today, that we actually have a description other than something that's saying using Restream or something like that.
Yeah, the title of the video.
In the description, where it has like, you know, our socials and the link to the Quasi Shop and the recommended gear and all that stuff.
Cool. The normal full.
Okay, good. Yeah, because it looks like the last couple ones didn't. From when it was... heat gun. Okay, great, awesome. Okay.
And the title.
Yep. And I thought today, Randy, that we can have our titular moment. I am wearing, you know, for my green today. Let me see here if I can do this without knocking everything over.
Did you have to leave the empty station view up?
Oh, I'm not worried about the M50 right now. I think the flood, I think, killed the adapter, and so it freezes after like 3 seconds now, pretty indefinitely. But
no, I mean, you've got a picture-in-picture. Is the screen that just shows my workstation with me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I've been showing that just here as I've been twitching, just to give people a feel for the room, especially when there's, you know, you're not here to keep company. It gives people something to look at. So I'll flip back and forth to it.
Ready?
Yep. And so I have, I don't want to bleed out on it, my Commodore 64 had to score.
I don't remember what our first gaming station was, but it was like a knockoff, or like a pre-Atari, or a knockoff of.
Yeah, even before PC, like we had. Pong. Yeah, we had one that was like a multi-pong, right? That was like from Sears or something, where it had like Pong and Breakout and Breakaway and basketball, which was like Pong, but you were trying to put it into a basket, and we had like, it was like a 6-in-1 sort of thing, and it was about the size of 2 Ataris. All right, let me, Randy, I'm trying some different things here where I'm using the desk tripod to help give us a little bit more stable images here, and I'm currently have us overexposed, it would appear. Let me see if I can dial this down a little bit.
What was your first?
What was my first?
Yeah, we had the Texas Instrument TI-99 4A.
Yeah, my first one was a Commodore 64. Was my first computer, and that was probably, I don't know, may have been around the same time. What year did you get yours, Randy?
I was young. That's all I know.
I think that I was in middle school, so I would have been about 83, I think, something like that.
It was shared computer too. Each had our own, you know.
Yeah.
There was no the personal laptops where everybody has their tablets or that your cell phone. That that was an interesting because it had the cartridge that you'd use for like games and stuff, but then you could record, like you would save stuff on audio cassettes. That's how you would save your file.
Yeah, let me see. If we switch to...
And then they came out with the 5-quarter floppy disk that you could buy extra as an add-on. We didn't have.
Yeah, I had tape drives, right? The tape drive was literally about that big. It was like a breadbasket. And
ours was a large.
They got slimmer as the years went on. Let's see here.
Yeah, ours was just like an old school cassette recorder.
Yeah.
And you just plugged in the audio.
Here. It's crazy that I actually could pull these out so quickly. If we do ceiling, and let's do it.
We played like Hunt the Wampus was one of the games.
What was it? Hunt the what?
Hunt Wampus.
Wow. Okay. So here, I'm going to maybe switch to radio. I have some great Radio Shack audio cassettes here.
Well, I typed in Google Hunt the W, and it came up with Hunt the Wampus.
And so I had Snoopy Math on this, Labyrinth, and Oregon. And it was funny because, yeah, the game, you would have to forward it to the clicker to a certain part and try to start to load it from that part on. This had Quest.
We had to write the time down and like try to go off the time.
Yeah. 0-15 error, but oh man, if you started at 25, you got Wet Paint. I remember Wet Paint. Wet Paint was like a surround game where you had to box them in with paintbrushes. That's funny. I had Grave Robbers, Centropod, Sub Hunter. Ooh, I remember Sub Hunter. That one was actually pretty cool. Quest and Sub Hunter.
Hey, JC. JC is talking.
Hey! What's up, Tater? How you doing? We got Randy here from remotely. You can help us out, hopefully, with letting us know if the audio is okay. I know he's a little light, but okay, Randy. So this was one of the first games I ever had. It was on audio cassette. It was called Hammer Robbie. It was a text-based game where like you had to like buy. What's that? You're coming through really light, Randy.
I said, did you just say I was lighting the loafers?
No, I did not say that. That was pure projection on your part, my friend.
You need to turn up the audio on your... Because mine, it sounds okay. We sound about the audio. Volume.
Okay. Yeah, it was just like you were fading out, and I thought maybe it was that. Norman's names. Oh, so yep, some old Radio Shack cassettes, and this is what we had computer games on, and oh wow, yeah, Brady's working from home too. Yeah, he said yesterday, JC said he was going to have to work from home for 2 weeks, but it looks like they've upped that a little bit. So all right, yep.
How's that working for you? Yeah, Randy, we canceled D&D for the same reason, and so we don't turn each other into zombies. And I'm trying to see if maybe they're willing to. Being trapped in a house with a 3-year-old has its perks, but it's nice not having to get up at the crack of dawn. Yeah, I can appreciate that. So, JC, we've been talking about early computer games. What was the first computer system that you used that you played a game on? Personal wise.
All right, Randy.
Like we had a text. There was like something about pirate. They got to like explore a pirate ship.
Oh
You're like,
yeah.
and
So JC said that his first one was Doom on the PC. Had to boot it up in DOS on Windows 95.
Windows 95.
Windows 95 had an Easter egg on the install disc CD, Randy, and it was
Oh yeah.
it was Weezer's video, the Buddy Holly video, the one where it looks like they're in an episode of Happy Days. You can look it up. That does not do your own fact finding, like we always say. Here, Randy, check these out. You haven't seen probably the last time you saw these. We were gluing them together. Are you checking out the screen at all?
What? Turn that back around. Oh, okay. Like he was holding his privates for a second.
He is. Oh, he
That
is.
is what.
I said, my PP is paining me.
Yeah, you just got kicked in the balls, so it like hurts all the way.
Yeah.
He's like, ah.
Yeah, it's a full body ache. There you go. It's our Conan the ball bearing.
Yep. Cool. Sorry, I'm looking at the Weezer Buddy Holly.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a great video. It's one of my all-time favorite videos. I think Spike Jonze actually directed that. Our dwarf. He's looking good. His face is what still needs, and that's where I'm at with a lot of these is the face need work. JC, I think my first PC game that I remember playing was X-Wing, and you had to boot it up on a special boot disk because you needed to free up like all your EMS memory or something like that. And yeah, it was funny booting those. And then, well, with the Randy on the Commodore 64 with the tape drives, I had a game. I think it was called Ford Apache. I think is what it was called. And it took 12 minutes to load.
Mm.
And
I think
12 minutes. 12 minutes to load, and it wasn't 100% that it would load.
Like,
sorry,
yeah.
I walked all over you. Go ahead.
If things more than 10 seconds now, we're like, oh, I can't do
10 seconds. Yes, you count 10 seconds, mofo, and let me know if you make it to 3. Check out the mummy here.
Yeah, I don't last that long. No, it's like 1, 2, 3. Ah, fuck it, you lost me. I'm out. Nice, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's like the one criticism I have about my Jedi Ginger game is that it has really long load screens, and
It's really long.
It's like 5 seconds. No, it seems like it seems like it can go over 30 seconds, and it's. This tiny guy's a little trickier to get to there. Here you go. Check out our
a default setup situation where the PC spot and
I didn't catch any of that. I think there was too many pauses, so your start and your finish. You may just want to try to just do permanently on, Randy. Unless you got a lot of background noise going on. If you got your mom in the box and she's yelling to get out, then do push to talk, please, because I don't want to hear that. I ain't trying to hear that.
Mom, stop yelling.
Does somebody want to see daylight today? It's lotion on the skin.
Just Where'd it go? I found it. I found it earlier. Oh, here we go.
I actually remember JC, one of his early handles used to be Spawn playing games. I remember we had
It is. It's on voice activity. The other option is to talk, but I can activity.
Oh, so it's either push to talk or trigger. Okay, I got you. Never mind.
Oh, well, there's a call mode. Be that. Looks like.
Colonel Mustard, tater sauce. Yes, Spawn. I remember I had to do on one of our LAN parties. I had to do the photos where I put everybody's things in, and your dad was at that one. Can't remember what your dad's handle was.
For the played, I think the first thing I ever played on an Apple. I had like in 4th or 5th grade, the elementary school got one Apple.
Salty dog.
Yeah.
Navy.
Request time.
I don't, man, Mark did have those flags. I don't know if he still has them or not. What was you saying there, Randy?
I was saying that the first Apple that I had contact with was like in 4th or 5th grade, the elementary school got one Apple, but he had to like request time on it. And it was just like a trail. We had Oregon Trail at that. If not, then it would have been 6th grade where I played Oregon.
I don't think I ever
much tech. They had little animations that happened.
Yeah.
Like
it said
that going in it.
Yeah, because I know like it says that you died of dysentery. It's like kind of the big. Check out our Lich guy here so far, Randy. He's coming out really good.
Yeah, that looks awesome. That's really.
Yeah, and I never played Oregon Trail, but I know that's a huge one. My mom's boss. Here's our Armored Knight so far, our Molly Hatchet cover. So they had, I think it was an Apple II, and I can remember playing like some sort of platformer on that, but that might have been the actual first computer I ever played a game on was an Apple II at my mom's work. But yeah, I'm trying to think that the first game I might have been that Ford Apache, might have been the first one that I really got into. But the first game I think I ever owned was that text-based Hammurabi, and it was like you go into town and you haggle with people. Here you go, Randy. Check out our. Now, Carrie states that this man has an armored Audi belly button that is somehow also part of an elaborate chastity belt. And I can't disagree. But I really pleased Randy with the way that these skin textures are coming out on these guys. It really kind of modeled and with T's, M-O-T-T, patchy.
These are T's? The chastity belt?
Yes. You can look, but you can't touch. Check out the zombie guy here, Randy. that was the zombie.
Your pants too big.
And that's about it. There's the wizard. I'm really trying to be light with him. I'll give you a few seconds so you can actually get a chance to.
Cool.
And his cape.
Looks like,
his cape actually. Lag what?
The lag seems low today.
Oh, okay. But he has a cape that goes on as well. And then, oops, last guy is this big bad boy. I'll put him on a specialty base.
Can you get him? The wizard.
What about the wizard?
Can you get him more info?
Oh, yeah. I'll, hold on a second. Let me work with this guy and I'll come back to him.
Crazy.
Let's see how these work.
So is that his whip or his tail or?
It's his whip, but I think it's meant to be, and I'm gonna make it like it's kind of like esophagus or something, or intestine. It's made of intestine or something fleshy. Let's see, I'm having a hard time with this one. I don't know why he's problematic.
We had my 5th grade teacher used to tell us that he was going to either whip or slap. I think he said slap. He's going to slap us with his wet. That was his.
With a wet what?
A wet noodle.
Yeah, wet noodle.
Like if he wanted somebody to behave, he'd say, "I'm going to slap noodle," which just wouldn't go so well today. I mean, it was odd then.
There you go.
Did that base come with the cracks?
No, this was I had gotten this base at the local nerd shop on clearance. They just had some of these, and I was like, oh, I don't know what I'd use these for. And I had 4 of them. And when I was looking at this guy and I was putting everybody else on bases, like he deserves something with a little bit more. So it was this like cracked desert-y kind of thing it's got a skull that's down there as well that will come out when we dry brush.
What goes in his back? I saw a socket in his back.
A rocket launcher. No, wings there's these 2 wings that form together like this. Because he's not demonic enough.
Yeah, that was
So yeah, and I just have done some initial.
I feel like that a 4x4 square.
The 2 inches square base, I believe. All right.
Yeah. So for the inch squares.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would take up 4 squares. Yep. Sorry. I was thinking you meant 4 on one side. And I don't know if they actually wanted him to be smaller than that. They may have wanted him to be... Well, no, that would be the next size up, wouldn't it? I think. Or some of them take 1.5. Take a quick look.
Do they?
I got something around here.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
This is D&DBeyond.com. Basic rules, monster size. Tiny. 2.5 by 2.5. Well, that's just feet.
Right. So they would still, your tiny, your mediums, and your larges all take up, I think, a 1-inch square. And then, or maybe that might just be the tinies and the mediums. And then I think this is the large, right? And so this is a WizKid one. And so his base is
It was a square
same
is
size base.
5.
A square is a half inch,
Yeah,
which is 5 feet.
5 feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So small, it says small and medium both list 5 by 5.
Or then a large.
So one.
Okay. Large is
A
4
large
squares.
Yeah, 2 by 2.
Yep. So that's what that would be.
Huge is 50.
And that'd be a 3 by 3. Yeah. Which would be.
Um,
And then what is it? Abomination or there's another.
Gargantuan
Gargantuan is the one.
1 by 20.
Yeah, like some of the big dragons, things like that. All right. So I think we're ready to get painting. All right.
I was thinking they ought to. Yeah, that'd be.
All right.
I don't know what's over there.
What's that, Randy? I'm going to turn you up a little bit. Ooh. Randy?
Oh, so I was looking at the holidays,
I just took out. Sorry, I just took out the. I was charging that adapter, and that's what was giving me all the noise. Oh wow, that was nice. I'm not hearing all that stuff
What's wrong?
now when you talk. That's awesome.
Oh.
Let me turn the
what is after charging?
What's that?
What is after?
For the Bluetooth headset, that Taltronics Bluetooth.
Yeah.
So that I was charging it, and so I had it in the hub and charging, and that's what was giving me all that electronic noise. So there was a ton of electronic noise I was getting anytime that anything came through the headset.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, having it just now unplugged it and it just silenced it. It was just like, oh.
Tater. Funny.
What are we getting dirty on? I'm sorry.
Getting dirty.
Yeah, why are we
I'm not sure, but it's funny.
getting...
Yeah. Is that what's the DX cat?
Oh, all right. That's right. I hope everybody brought one of their dad's shirts to wear as a smock.
Art, meow meow.
Yeah, Randy, I was talking to JC about once I get to affiliate, then you can start having custom emotes. I think you get like 5 custom emotes, and people that follow you or subscribe to you can get access to your emotes. And so we'll have to think about what those. And I was asking JC, it's like, well, what do people normally do? And he's like, well, a lot of times it has to do with what like a sort of like an inside joke. And earlier we were talking about just the tip. And it seems like funny because it seems like we're always talking about the tips. So like, tip could be one, and we could make something that has something to do with a tip, like a, paint nozzle tip or something like that. So
Start titular moment instead of titular moment.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, we can start thinking of some of these things and about emotes that we could make. So, all right. I think that I want to take.
So I was looking at the holodeck.
Oh yeah.
And I discovered that Saturday, March 14th was Steak and BJ Day, which is the male version of Valentine's Day, apparently.
Oh yeah, when you say BJ, you meant BJ, like for reals BJ's.
Yeah.
You're not talking like BJ Brewhouse or something like that, like.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. Well.
The male version of Valentine's Day. It says Steak and BJ Day.
Steak and BJ. I know how you like your steak, but I like mine with as little teeth as possible. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. We can talk about something else. JC had brought up that he said, well, since we didn't have Randy on yesterday, I think it was, he was talking about it was the Freedom of Information Day, I think, yesterday. It looks like you're doing a PSA on spreading the news about that day, Randy. Good for you. All right, let me take a look here.
Oh, and we had the Ides of March was passed.
Oh yeah, Yep.
Beware it.
Yeah, I want to
I
make
hope
sure.
everyone just beware it.
I just, I was, it may have been a little reactionary, Randy, but I stayed away from anybody that was wearing a toga. It's crazy times right now. So,
You stayed away from anyone that was what?
wearing a toga,
Oh,
right? Because wasn't that Julius Caesar and beware the tides
yeah.
of March, and then he got stabbed by one of his brethren.
The eye, the local soothsayer.
And then
About
that was
eye.
and that was the origin of March Madness. I don't know if you knew that. It was because of that. Because everybody got angry. Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? Bad, 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 bad. All right.
What I did? Sorry.
Brutus stabbing Caesar. They got all mad about it, and that's what March Madness was. That was the origins of March Madness. Now we celebrate it with playing basketball. Do your own fact finding, folks. All right. Okay.
That's gonna be our. We'll have a recurring moment within our stream. We'll call it Parfy moment.
Yeah.
That's when we tell.
Yeah, I had this thing, a website. I made a website once, and it had a section on it. It was called Mark or Myth.
It was what?
Called Mark or Myth, and it was like, was this a real thing or is this a lie? All right. So here, Randy, I'm putting your boy back into focus here. Yes.
I was looking magical.
This is one of my most favorite wizard figs I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's got a lot of presence.
Yeah, it's a really good dynamic pose. There's a lot of detail in his face. It's like I can make out that he has two on to the left and right of his beard are two emblems for the cape. And you can actually make out that they're a star and a moon. Could you see that?
No, I can't tell.
You
I've
can
got
see
it. I'm not full.
Yeah, so to the left and the right of his beard, where the cape meets, there's two circles, and I can tell that they're. And so when I paint them, I'll try to accentuate them. But the level of detail in this thing is really nice. The page, yeah, the pages on the book, and his belt buckle has just a lot of detail. There's a ring on actually the staff up above his hand. There's a ring. I don't know if I can get it in focus or not. Yeah. If you look above his thumb, it's all dark now, but there's a ring that I'll end up making gold. What was it that you're asking about, Randy?
Oh, cool. Forgot.
A clasp or something I thought you were asking about.
Slipped my mind.
Here, you might be able to get a look at those things I was talking about.
Yeah, they're the clasp furs. Those are.
Yeah, first cape.
Like cloak clasp.
Yep. Yep. Badges of honor. Okay, so let me see here what we're going to work on. We've got some footsie stuff. He's going to get... Oh, I know. There was the Legolas, the elfy guy. A little elfling prince. He needs some more yellow, I think, on his shirt. And we're going to actually, I think, use red. We're going to give my man some red breeches. And I'm also wanting to color, I think, Skeletor things here on the side here. I'm going to color this purple. So this will be easy ways for us to ease on down the yellow brick road here. And JC, I do think that I figured out how I can more directly add music to the stream so that it'll be direct in the stream. So this was kind of a good test for me to use headphones, which will help facilitate. I'll do that on the next Twitch only stream. All right, so we got a little space here. So did you play very many text-based games, Randy, at all? Or was that...
Tater said, "Oh, you've got good music. I want to hear it."
Thanks, I appreciate that, brother.
Not a lot. Like,
I'm trying to think.
you were,
Are you familiar with... Are you familiar with like Zork?
yeah. I think it was like Zork 2.
Okay. Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot of Zorks.
Yeah, it wasn't purely just text-based. There was a lot of visual to it, but
Oh, okay.
like, if there was any animation. It was like it had a color picture that would pop up there or whatever.
There was one. There was one that played on Apple, and I think it was called like Adventure or something like that. And you started out, and it was like it put you in a field, and then you ran over, and then there was something happen. And there was some bees, and you got a stick, and you did this, and you did that, and you took the wrong turn, and it killed you instantly. So you had to figure out how to navigate around that. And it was really early in the text-based days. And I never played Zork, but I would like to. There's a nerdcore rapper I like, MC Front a lot, and he has a song that's based on it, and it starts out that you've walked into the jaws of a lurking Gru, and I think that's kind of how that game starts. The Zork game starts, but it's all about text-based adventure games, that's what there needs to be more rap songs about, is text-based PC games. Less about shooting each other.
Yeah.
Although, how them bitches and hoes gonna know if you don't tell them? That was a joke, right?
I'm laughing. You probably can't hear it. I probably want to activate the mic.
It sounded like you said, "I was laughing," but you probably didn't hear it because I really wasn't laughing. I was like, "Wow, that is an amazing insult." Yeah, see, the thing with that is, no, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know shit from apple butter. Oh yeah, so apple butter, of course, should be probably an emote. I have to figure out a way to make a good apple butter emote. Apple butter. All right. Let's see here. So we are going to be pulling out some of our inky inks.
Trying to see what Zork it was, but anything that.
You're breaking up quite a bit, Randy. If you could repeat that.
I was trying to find out which Zork it was that I would have played, but I'm not looking quite right.
Yeah, because I think I remember Zork 1, 2, and 3, and I think I remember a Beyond Zork. I remember they used to sell. They used to sell those at Walden Bookstore, and that's why I remember the names of those in particular.
This is Return to Zork.
Oh, okay. Return to Zork was what you played, and it had a little bit of graphic with it as well.
Yes, it was very heavily graphic. Actually, I think it actually had animation, because there's like at the beginning, I think probably encounter like a guy in a crystal ball that tells you the story, tells you something, and there's a witch stirring a cauldron. I think she actually be still, and then it would start with just her kind of clippy movement of stirring the pot, and then it would stop. But it's integrated real video. Hold on, to static picture back.
I had a text-based game on the Commodore 64 that was, I think it had something to do with Atlantis. But you had this, at some point you ended up finding this medallion, and this medallion had different gemstones in it. And if you were in certain places, a gemstone would glow, and if you would push on it, it would teleport you someplace. And that one was like, it was pretty neat. And then also there was one that I had played for the Commodore 64, and that a game like this even got created blows my mind, really. but it was based on a book by Robert Heinlein. And no, not Robert Heinlein. Based on Isaac Asimov's Robot trilogy. And you played Elijah Bailey, and there was somebody who had gotten killed by a robot, and you had to figure out who and why and how. And I could never do it. I could never get far enough to figure it out. But that somebody would make a game like that, I think, is just really neat. And it's just like, it's just like, I don't ever imagine us ever seeing a game quite like that again. Text-based detective adventure game based on Isaac Asimov's Robot. That's how I became familiar with the laws of robotics, because there's the 3 laws of robotics where it's like you can't kill a human, you can't disobey an order unless it prevents you from killing a human, and you can't not do something that you know is going to cause a human to die. I think there's like something like that. Some version of that is like the 3 laws of the robotics. And learning about that as a teenager filled the next 3 decades of. It was a good seed to have at a young age about thinking about robots. Let's see here. That, and then later. Go ahead.
I said that's inappropriate. You're making a lot of fapping noise.
Oh, sorry. Fap. Don't talk. I have to start all over. All right. Thinning down.
A robot may not injure a human being, or through inaction allow to come to harm.
Is that the first? Is that the first law?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the first. Second one is a robot must obey orders given it by human beings, except where such would conflict with the first law.
Yep.
And 3 is a robot must protect its existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law.
Okay, so self-preservating, except for. Yep. Okay. Let me see.
But I think there's a loophole. Like it could be rude. It could be. It determines what it depends what its level of harm.
Ah, true. Yeah.
We just talking physical harm. We're talking emotional harm. Like
that's right.
Psychological.
La 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 la.
Is that okay?
No, I'm thinking Betamax. You are suffering emotional harm. La 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 la. It's like Big Hero 6 is a very good animated flick. Highly recommend it. All right. So I took these washes. What I've really been trying to do is be very light with these minis, Randy. And so I've been using a lot of washes, but then even thinning them down further with this airbrush thinner. And not being afraid to have to do multiple swipes rather than messing something up and putting too much on. That's how I'm keeping it so fresh and so clean. My wizard is so fresh and so clean. I don't know if you know that. Better recognize Randy.
I gotta decide what I'm fixing for St. Patrick's Day.
I don't know if you noticed. Yeah, my wizard, he comes from the dirty South. But go ahead. I digress.
What?
This wizard, he comes from the dirty South. Just keep moving. Don't even acknowledge. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. You were saying about dinner? Something about dinner?
Yeah. I got to figure out what I'm going to. I don't have any corned beef on hand, so I'd have to go to the store. I saw a really nice slab the other day, but it was like 20-some bucks. I wait till after the fact to be half off.
Yeah.
I may just But I should fix some. I'll probably make my Irish cake. Irish apple cake.
What's nuts is that all the bars are closed, right? So
they do that now.
Yeah,
like 4 different states. When I saw, I think different states at the time had.
Well, I know that. I know here that they're. I saw one of our friends online who's a bartender mention that, like, damn, I got laid off 2 jobs. Fuck shit. And then where I get some over, I'm just using a dry brush to kind of wipe off.
Tomorrow apparently is National Awkward Moments Day. We should have had a skit prepared for that or something.
Have you ever seen
where we just talk about where we just create awkward moments?
You know who used to do that was Craig. Who's the Scottish guy? He's no longer a late night host. Craig Ferguson. He would do that with his guests, and he was like, "All right, well, so this is the part where we're just going to have an uncomfortable silence with each other." And so they would just like take 6 seconds and just be uncomfortable with each other, like, you know, sip at your glass and look at the floor, and I just thought that was really brilliant. His show was really good. I think it just didn't get its.
Oh, it's the awkward pause.
Yeah.
Craig Ferguson's awkward pause.
Yeah, it was really brilliant. He had some really good stuff. I think that he needed YouTube be further along to help him, because that's what's really helping, I think, all the late night hosts now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the only way I see them.
Yeah.
YouTube clip.
I'll tell you, man, right now I can't be any more impressed with Oh, Carrie had sent me something. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but it was like the top 10 Graham Norton moments. Let's play a game, Randy. Let's see. I want you to give me 10 of your favorite Graham moments. Or you can give me 5, because 10 will take you 5 years.
What are you talking about? You know how I am.
And
I can't remember.
Can you think of, because one of the ones that's my favorite, and I think would probably be one of yours, is not listed on this list.
Oh yeah, go ahead and give yours first. I've got a couple of mine that stand out. But
so once we start talking, I'm sure it'll. Well, actually, I love whenever anybody's doing impersonations. So I've gone down rabbit holes of just Graham Norton guests doing impersonations. And so they did. I think they had one of those, but I hadn't actually seen the one. I think one of the ones that they had. Check out my man Red Britches over here now. It won't be quite as red when they dry, but.
Are you deliberately painting him like the Scarecrow in Wizard of Oz?
Oh, thanks, Randy.
Wasn't that his color scheme? You've even right now.
I told you he was from the Dirty South. If you don't know, now you know. All right. Tater, do you...
I think the awkward on Graham Norton. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering if JC was familiar. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, Conan does. I that's where I see Conan on the YouTube. Even Fallon, The Daily Show. You know, all those guys. It's the only time I ever see them. But yeah, that's definitely helping them, I think, get a longevity, and especially with Conan, I imagine that probably helps. Graham Norton. Are you familiar with Graham Norton at all? British host.
Tater. I definitely am.
Tater. Yes. He asked me what the question was. So, okay. If you ever see him on the YouTubes, definitely check out his stuff. He is hilarious. He gives his guests drinks, like alcoholic drinks, and it works.
Yeah, which is, and some of the episodes are like, okay, that one was flat, but other ones are like, oh my god, they're pretty much always good for at least one really good chuckle.
Yeah.
Some of them are just like, oh, that was amazing. That was hilarious.
But yes, let me find my phone here. And all.
The most awkward moment ever on Graham Norton. Make sure I got the right.
forgot to send my.
It was Mark Wahlberg, apparently.
That
Mark
was the
Wahlberg.
one. That's the one that's not listed.
Oh man.
With him.
Yeah, he
him
got
and Sarah Silverman.
Yeah, I think he got beyond drunk and was like sitting on Graham's lap, and it was really uncomfortable.
Yeah, look up Graham Norton. Tater, look up Graham Norton.
What the hell is that?
Mark Wahlberg, Sarah Silverman. And that one is hilarious because he's trying to hit on her, and she was just like, "Oh no."
He's like sitting on Graham's lap, and Graham is like, "What the hell is happening right now?"
Yeah, it was funny. But so let me see what the one said. Because that was one I was like, "Oh, that one is so funny." They had.
He was rubbing Graham's nipple. It looks like
19 Graham Norton show moments that will give you a laugh.
Funny, but it was also like really uncomfortable.
It was uncomfortable. Yeah, because it made me think like, yeah, I don't. The number one was when Daniel Radcliffe introduced his creepy body stunt double to the world. I've seen that one. Have you seen that?
Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah, Harry Potter.
Yeah, Swiss Army Man. His
okay. Yeah.
From.
Let me see here. One of them was
somebody in the audience wanted to take it home. He's like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
A lot of money for that on any site that sells stuff, really.
Yeah. I haven't watched this, but I did see where Will Smith and Alfonso Ribeiro recreate the Fresh Prince dance.
Yeah, it's
okay. This one I have not seen, but I want to. When Whoopi Goldberg got real about losing her pubic hair, and Keanu Reeves just couldn't handle it. That sounds.
Keanu Reeves, when he's on, he seems really nice. Whoopi is always usually funny and like says stuff she's very honest.
Yeah.
She doesn't mind saying anything like about herself, like she'll say stuff that's like, whoa. And somebody else that is always good, actress who I believe I think she passed last year, but Miriam Margolyes.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, she has no problem telling any filthy story or whatever about herself. It's like this older lady.
I think that might
just filthy.
That might be down here further. I saw this one. When Graham tricked Emma Stone into thinking her favorite girl group, the Spice Girls, were at the show and they weren't. Remember that one? Julie Andrews and Channing Tatum swapping stories about filming nude scenes. Kate Winslet telling everybody about Idris Elba's foot fetish. Tom Hanks.
I don't think I've seen it. I'm a or two behind right now.
Tom Hanks doing an incredible Clint Eastwood impersonation. Miriam Margolyes. So Miriam Margolyes, yeah, she's the one who was Professor Sprout in the right, and she's the one that I says unfortunately looks like Tom Baker. So when Miriam Margolyes reminisced about meeting Laurence Olivier for the first time, I think he made me watch that one.
You were breaking up on me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so she was the one that is Professor Sprout, right?
Yes.
And so, yes, this one is when she reminisced about meeting Laurence Olivier for the first time. And the guy next to her in the thumbnail has a woman's fan, and he's fanning himself. And I said, I think you made me watch that one, actually. I think we've watched that one together.
Yeah, she says some shocking stuff.
When Snoop Dogg admitted he got high with Pharrell and Stevie Wonder in the studio.
Got high with who?
Pharrell and Stevie Wonder. Benedict Cumberbatch has had the most difficult time pronouncing the word penguins. And what's bad is that he did a documentary about penguins.
Yeah, it's a documentary and nobody corrected it.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh man.
Until after it went out into the public populace, and then everybody was trying to create.
Yeah. So those were some of them, some of the highlights.
I like the things they do a lot of times. Like, they'll show fan fiction stuff.
Oh yeah.
To the actors, and they're like, "Whoa, wait, what the heck?"
Yeah, because who was it? It was X-Men and Magneto. The younger versions wrote them, right? And it was, and he had them like, I think, reading it. Didn't he have them where they were reading it and like recreating some of the scenes or something?
They rode a tandem bicycle together.
It's right. We are pushing the PG rating today. Hey, it says intended for mature audience. So. Disclaimers have already been thrown about.
Who else? Okay. There's a lot of great.
I'm trying to think of some of the ones that I really. The one that had all the people that were in the Monument Men. Right, it's the guy from the Monument Men. So it was like George Clooney, and I think like the dad from Uptown, Downtown, Backstairs at the Abbey, and some other famous actors, but they were on there, and it was funny to see them. Oh, it was Matt Damon, right? Maybe Tom Hanks or somebody as well. But just all of them talking and yucking it up. Well, Bill Murray. No, it was Bill Murray. That's who it was. It was Bill Murray, Matt Damon.
And Hugh...
yeah, the guys from The King's Speech and the dad from...
Hugh Bonneville.
Yeah.
Hugh Bonneville.
And it was just like, you could tell those guys just have a great time together.
Yeah, that was...
Some more.
I think Tom Cruise really always comes off as really cool.
Who does?
Tom Cruise.
He comes off as what?
He always comes off really nice and really cool.
Everybody says that. I mean, I know that he is part of an organization that is, some regard as very cultish. And wackadoo, but anybody that I've ever had that I've ever heard talk about it, and maybe it's just because they're legally have to. No, that's not true. But everybody says like he's just like the nicest guy. I remember who was it? Chris Hardwick said when he met him, because Chris Hardwick had actually performed in the School of Rock years ago, or not the School of Rock, but the Rock of Ages musical. And Tom Hanks, when they did the movie, played his part. And he said that when he met him, and they said, hey, we have something in common. We both played this role. And he started singing a song spontaneously on the spot with Chris Hardwick. and it's just like, yeah, and just like, and everybody just says that, yeah, he's just really nice. And just like the nicest guy. Who was it, too? Somebody was telling me about, like I get gifts every year from Tom Cruise. He sends me Christmas gifts every year. It's just like
lots of people who he's done acted in things or whatever. He sends them big thing. The most notable thing is cake for their birthday. Like they say, it's some sort of coconut cake, I think, but they all say it's like the best, literally the best cake they have ever or will ever have. Like it tastes amazing.
That's nuts.
They all say this.
Huh? That's crazy.
I'm like, what is this egg? I gotta try this.
That
makes me want to like try to be friends with Tom Cruise just so I can try to get the cake. Dang.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What else?
I'm trying to think of what other ones that I saw. And the thing is, too, I think it's probably because the people out there are drinking, is that it seems that the actors played more with each other than you see on other shows, right?
Mm.
They're enjoying each other's stories.
There's a refreshing difference between American talk shows and British talk shows.
Yeah.
Where you can get away with more on the British talk shows. You can You can curse,
Right.
which just gives people half a themselves.
Yeah.
Plus, Graham just makes it a really comfortable environment
Yeah.
for them.
I agree with that. Yeah, I hadn't heard about him until maybe a couple years ago, and only because of YouTube. And yeah, and he's brilliant though. You can tell he's really good. I saw him when he's come to America, and he was on oh, the guy that was on the News Daily, dark hair. I can't remember the guy that's the big Lord of the Rings guy. Dark hair, glasses. You know, Stephen Colbert, and he had Graham on, and he was like, "Well, you know, like when you have people on your show, like you always have them drinking." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You want to drink?" And he's like, "Hell yeah, I do." So he broke out like a bottle, and they were drinking some scotch or something. And it was weird too seeing him in that chair, because it's funny how you can just tell how different it is being the one that's driving the interview versus being the interviewee. All right.
Uh-huh.
All right. So we've got some blue that we put on his shirt. This is going to need more. I thinned the blue down so much it's going to take several coats. But I don't want to work it while it's wet. Randy, don't touch it when it's wet.
Do what I want.
Maybe you missed that day in health class, son. All right. And we need to... I think I'm going to go with blue on his
I've been
sleeves.
I've been playing a lot of Spider-Man over the week.
Oh, yeah?
On the PS. Yeah. They did such...
Which is hilarious. So let's back up for a second, right? So I had gotten a PS4, and you would come over, and what happens is that sometimes you'll have occasion to come over and spend a day or two, or house sit for me or something, and where you won't have access to maybe some games, you'll have access, and then you'll binge it, right? Like I think you did that with XCOM, and I think you did that with Assassins, the pirate Black Flag Assassin's Creed, right?
Uh-huh.
And you kind of did that, I think, with Spider-Man as well. You came over and spent the night, and you stayed up all night playing the Spider-Man, and I was so touched by it that that I helped facilitate getting you a PlayStation. And what was hilarious was that you promptly started playing another game, and I don't think I've heard you talk about Spider-Man since this moment right now.
Yeah, this was the first time I played it on mine, because
which is funny.
I was it's hilarious. But I got the free, because I have the PSN, so that we could play with each other on it. You get 2 free games a month, and the first game I downloaded was Conan Exiles. And
right, yeah.
I played that for a long time.
Yeah. Yep.
Really
that's just funny. I didn't even think about it until, like you said, it was like, oh, that's right. I forgot. Because you was like, oh, so what do you think about Spider-Man? What do you think about Spider-Man? You're like, oh, no, I'm still on the age of Conan. And then you went from Conan to like Dragon Age, and then, or something, I think Conan to Ark. You went to Ark, I think, for a little while.
Ark Survival, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, Spider-Man. It's one of my all-time favorite games. And I feel... Because it's like...
yeah, it's really good.
It's really good. I love how you get to where you just really start to feel comfortable with the controls and what you want to do, you can do, and how smooth it is and how big it is. And
and some of the storylines and the cutscenes and things are so involved and stuff. It's like you're watching a really good movie that's really extra long.
Yeah.
Really,
yep.
Really. I think I'm 80% through the main story content.
Yep.
But I've got the 2 or 3 DLC.
Yep. Yeah, I do too. And they're not as good, but they're still worth it. Yeah, and that's like I don't know about you, but I like was purposely dragging my feet on the main story, and I would do all the side quests I could because I enjoyed it so much and I didn't want it to end.
Yeah. Well, I was afraid that it would end up like, because
Oh
some
yeah,
things, if you progress to a certain point, like
yeah,
the side quests are only like time sensitive or levels,
yep. I know what you're saying. Yep.
but I don't think that's the case with this.
I don't think so
Maybe.
either. No, I don't think it is. Because even after you beat it, I think you can still keep playing.
Mm.
Because if you had stuff that you wanted to unlock or whatever.
Yeah, I was wondering. Well, I have the additional content, so I'm at token content that I'll be able to unlock everything. Um, Maybe I'll be able to unlock everything content, but without having to get like a three, um, you know, master all of
Yeah,
challenge
yeah, maybe
things
I
like
don't.
that.
Yeah, I don't know. They have so many different editions on these things now.
Because some of those quests are like, oh my God, I struggled to get the first level.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you want me to go a third level of this? Like, I don't see how I can be much faster.
There was
I
a
got a lot.
couple. Yeah, there was a couple where it was like, man. uh, but the thing was is that you don't have to get 100% in everything to unlock everything. I don't think. So that
You what?
if you had one or two that like you couldn't do master on, I think that
Yeah.
you don't have to do everything to get everything. It's just because it gives you a currency when you beat like those side things, like you go through the rings or whatever, right?
What was that?
Huh.
You go through.
Like some of those speed trial things like you're talking about, right? Because you have like all these side things that you can do. So like one of them, there's stealth missions, there's fighting missions, there's speed or racing missions, right? Where you have to zip through the rings or whatever. And there's the
I
bombs.
don't think there's where I have to go through rings, but there's one where you have to. It's a drone where you have to follow the drone and you get
Okay,
extra points. The drone is dropping like spy cameras throughout the city. So you have to
maybe
try to
that.
follow its path, and
Yeah.
for
Okay. Yeah.
extra point, you swing through the little circle, the
That
little
that's the
oval,
one. Yeah,
whatever.
that's the one I'm talking about. But yeah, so like say that whatever it is, I found the fighting ones were the easiest. There was a couple of the stealth ones that I had a really hard time doing.
Yeah, the fighting ones are easiest for me as well. Then the stealth ones after that, and then uh, those with the drone one.
Yeah.
Because to get the extra points and stuff, you have to. I just have to concentrate on following the drone and like say screw it to trying to get the spy cams for the extra points.
Yeah.
It was hard
There
to keep
there
up with it.
there was one that I had, and it was like you would follow him, like you're saying, right? Because usually it lands, and then you have a few seconds that you can then land and get it. But this one, it was so like you didn't have any time. Like if you didn't get it by the time it got to the thing, you failed. Like as soon as it landed,
Not too
you need to
when
instantly claim it, and it was just like God. And you couldn't just to get whatever level I was trying to get, you had to get almost all of them, and it was just like, whew. but
yeah.
like I said,
What sucks
you don't have to
doing
do
the
that. I don't think to unlock all the suits, but you do have to do it on. I think I had like 5 or 6 of them where it was like I was maxed out. It's like I got to figure out one of them, so I kept rotating between them so I could figure out which one I would be able to beat.
mm,
But yeah, I really
yep.
that is a really. Oh, so we got a Tater gave us a fun fact that Tom Cruise has a. If you see him smiling, he has a tooth that's dead center in his face. Another fun fact about Tom Cruise is that he gets his looks from his mom. And I don't know if
Oh really?
you ever seen that. It's funny. It's like sometimes you'll see this where like his mom looks unattractive. The Tom Cruise look does not work for a woman. Works well for a man, but on a woman it makes it look like a. She looks like the mule on Hee Haw. But
No,
I'm not trying to be.
his teeth look pretty stacked up. You look at his old stuff, uh, and some things look like whoa. Remember his teeth looking like that?
Yeah, that was pre-Alien. By aliens, I mean the Xenos. All right, let me see here.
I had an extra baby that was shaped like a little ball that was holding in my
You
baby
had
tooth when the adult tooth was in. I had
it,
to have it.
it faded out when you said tooth. So you said you had an extra baby.
I had an extra baby tooth.
I had an extra baby, and man, what did you do with that extra baby, Randy? Did you put it under a pillow? You waited for somebody to take it and give you money? What did you do with that extra baby?
I had an extra baby tooth that was
okay.
shaped like a little claw that was holding in the baby tooth next to it when the adult tooth was trying to come in.
Man.
So I had to have that taken out, and I ended up having to pull down the adult tooth that had been trying. And then I had 5 wisdom. They're huge. I had an extra wisdom.
You got smart teeth, brother.
So I was extra wise, and now I'm.
So now you don't know what to put in your mouth.
Oh, there's another fun fact about that was apparently I kept waking up during the surgery for the first, when they removed the extra claw tooth thing.
Uh-huh.
I kept waking up during surgery, and they had to keep like giving me additional shots for drugs, keep me under. It took me a while to come back from that afterward. I was groggy.
It's funny, some of those videos you'll see of people when they're coming out of like dental anesthetics. You ever seen any of those videos? Yeah. They'll be like I'm broken. What happened? Who am I? It's like people just get so disoriented by some of that stuff.
Yeah. I hate seeing ones where it's like, in any field where they're trying to pass it off like it's.
Like it's what?
They're trying to pass it off as if it's a real version of that.
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
Like yeah, whatever. You're totally.
Yeah.
But some of the good ones. There was one where there were 2 brothers, and they worked together with the mom to make their sister think that there was a zombie apocalypse happening. Like on her way back, she's all doped up on her way back from work done, and they even had like it sounded like it was a news broadcast that was coming up over the radio, and then they had their mom calling and like saying like on the news, the babies get home. They just said on the news that
Jesus.
And they were like, they had her wait in the car, and they were like bringing stuff out from the house and like asking her about like whether to save the cat or the dog because they could only take one or something like that. And she was like, well, the cat, obviously, the dog's an asshole.
That's awesome. That is hilarious. That's very funny. Let's see here. Do you have any timetable that you're working with today, brother? I noticed it's 2:35, so I want to keep you from if you had other duties.
I have work, but
I'll probably look to go to maybe about 3 here, so another 25 minutes or so. Would you say you have work, but what?
People who are acting like things are, you get the ones that are acting like always something, life or death urgent. It's like, okay, it's obvious.
Yeah.
You need to stop crying wolf on. And you know what would help is if you gave me the correct details so it would take a fix. All that crap.
Yep.
Anyway.
Sounds about right. Okay.
Work is work.
Yep. All right. I'm just slowly adding a lot of blues here. It's really thin. Slowly.
Life is too short to not make sure that you're happy.
And that's the truth, man. That is the truth, Ruth. Did you have to go out this weekend at all, Randy?
This weekend, no, I have not.
I went out on Saturday, and Tater went out yesterday. He said that think he went out midday yesterday and said he was still able to get some of the essentials he was looking for. Foodstuffs.
The great toilet paper shortage.
Yeah.
2020.
I sent a photo to some of the D&D people, my D&D group. I sent it to them, and it was of some premium cotton wipes. And I was like, yeah, fight over toilet paper, you pedestrian mother fudgers. And then Austin's like, you're not really supposed to flush those. Thanks, Austin. Wasn't quite the... Whatever.
They will clog your pipes, even the ones that, if you're not careful, clog your.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's one of the wet wipes are one that and just your like bodily fat, like your skin oils and cooking oils with soap. Soap creates what they call bergs that will clog up sewers.
Huh.
And they say these fat bergs that are an issue in sewers are largely due to fat, obviously fat berg, and soaps and the wet wipe. So ideally,
the whole world's going to hell, Mal. Keep thinking about the beginning. The beginning of The Stand, Randy, which is a book about Stephen King book about the virus. Beginning of The Stand, It has a quote from T.S. Eliot, I believe, that says, if you could maybe help me fact find this one, the quote from T.S. Eliot is, "This is how it ends. This is how it ends. This is how it ends. Not with a whimper, but with a bang." But I can't remember if it's with a whimper or a bang, or if it's not with a bang but a whimper.
With a bang boom. That's the actual quote. Goes out with a bang boom.
Boom bada bing. Big bada boom. Big bada boom. Multipass. All right, we have some of that. There for right now.
You're talking about?
And if we have anybody who is watching that is not liked, shared, or subscribed, please do so. Help us out tremendously. Give us a follow. Depending on which platform you're eyeballing us on. Let's see here. Is that? I think I'm gonna leave that alone.
I found a webpage of quotes. But one of them says humankind cannot stand very much reality.
Yeah, if you just search for T.S. Eliot, This Is How It Ends. Sure. Computer, what is the quote from T.S. Eliot? This is how it ends.
Here's something I found on the web. According to Missouri.edu,
this is the world.
The first edition of the novel included an epigraph from Eliot's
Computer,
poem,
stop.
"This is the way the world ends, not with a bang but a whimper."
Not with a bang, but with a whimper.
That's fun. Yeah, there was people talking about the shift, like preppers and stuff. I think it's as much of a craze was 5 or. There's a big craze with preppers and shift, like the end time. And it did make good points about how easily it would be for our entire system to fall apart. And it was like, just with a gas shortage, like all our transportation, like all of our shipping would cease. And then It was talking about like how easily it would be for a civilized society to basically become a zombie mob, and not a zombie virus mob. Just like they'll kill you because they want toilet. Like,
yeah, there's some
sending to crazy.
There's some quote, and I can't remember where it's from, but it's basically that everybody's three missed meals away from becoming animals. I mean, just the worst, right? And I was talking about that. It's like The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead isn't referring to the zombies; it's referring to the humans, and it's, at least I think so. And it's like, those are the most dangerous. It's not the zombies. It's not the virus that I'm scared of, right? It's the humans.
Hey, Rick. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Richie. Hey, thanks for joining us. Richie's. All right. So, Randy, I'm going to tackle this big guy here. Let me see her. Get him down here. And I'm going to start putting some flesh wash on him, or some purple wash, to kind of marry this undercoat that I have with the top coat. So just want to make sure.
T.S. Eliot apparently also said, immature poets imitate, mature poets feel.
Ooh. Huh. Wow. Real poets don't need to say things like real poets. Yeah, this is exactly what I was looking for. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff, Randy. This is definitely working. This purple wash is, you wonder, you get worried. It's like, is this the right color, or is this going to come out too thick? But it's perfectly, I think, going to marry these things together and give me the depth and the shadow, and still give some life to this. And let's see here.
Tater said, "World is pretty crazy. Kroger today. Bad food. Cool." When I did go and give blood, double red.
Oh yeah, yeah, right red. On, man. Good for you. That's awesome. I bet you they were appreciative of that.
Yeah, I do recommend for everybody that if they are capable of giving blood, that they do so, because there is, with all the stuff that's going on, and they were already, as usual, having a deficit.
Yeah.
They always need blood, but
yeah, I could definitely see where it would be particular tough time for him right now.
But it was easy. The largest thing was I had to wait longer than it was toward the end of the day. There were already 2 people on the
yes, right, yeah.
But that was fine. So just plan on it taking longer than.
Yeah.
The actual change itself wasn't bad. The guy who put the needle in did an amazing job. Like, it didn't hurt at all.
Nice.
I think it may have been the best that I've ever had. It was pain-free.
Did you tell him that?
And actually,
you, sir, were the best I've ever had.
He was preoccupied by stuff, and so I felt like he was appreciating the silence. He was distracted a little bit.
Hey, sometimes that's the greatest gift, right?
But I think even the puncture mark almost looks as if it's almost totally healed. But when I got it last time, it seemed like the puncture mark seemed to last. Actually, I can still see the last puncture mark a little where it was. I don't know why the new one's so much different. Maybe because I prepared it. Because I knew I was going to try to get the power red, so I put some iron supplement beforehand to get ready.
Okay.
Both cells affects healing time. Anyway, yeah, if you can't give blood, please do.
Yep, that's good stuff, man. That was good stuff. Good for you for
But while I was getting blood, that's how I got onto that. There were other people who said that they went on their break. Oh, Rick said they like 60 camera view.
Cool.
And can't stay. Have a great day.
Oh,
Thanks for stopping in, buddy.
thanks.
Yeah. So when I was getting blood, one of the people who worked there had taken their break, and they walked over to Walmart, and said that it was crazy. Like all the shelves were, especially like the toilet paper. There's nothing on the shelf.
Yeah, there was no toilet paper when I went. I went to a Target, and they didn't have any toilet paper, and they had a thing that said that like toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and water, that there was like a limit of like you could only get 2 of something for those.
Yeah. Was it you that sent the thing? I don't know. Was it you that sent the thing that said like that's not that's not a virus, that's a snow emergency, you idiots. about needing boarding water and toilet.
Oh no, that wasn't me. That's funny though.
I think it was probably my brother. He probably posted on Facebook. It was like a text convo between the people who are freaking out versus people who are panic buying versus CDC's like telling them, and they're like saying, "Oh, so toilet paper and water and hand sanitizer. I'll have to go out and get 20 things right now." And they're like, "No, you moron. That's
yeah. Am I supposed to duct tape the windows? No, that was when the Twin Towers were bombed. This is not an anthrax attack." Yep. Good times.
Now I'm seeing things that are saying hand sanitizer is good, but I was seeing other stuff that was saying, oh no, it was antibacterial soap. They were saying the virus, not a bacteria. So antibacterial soap.
Gotcha.
So totally fine.
I mean, it's not hurting anything, but
how long you wash your hands and making sure you're doing it properly.
Yeah. Yep. I was always told that it was the alphabet. You sing the alphabet, and that's the amount of time it takes for you to wash your hands. Yeah. But I think that there's something else that they're saying now.
I like there's a couple different ones. There's something where you can make your own. I think Lloyd posted on Facebook where make your own song. Like you can add, like take your favorite song and make it work so the lyrics will.
That's funny.
Wash. I like that CPR compression.
Staying alive.
They say now we're staying alive, but they're like, yeah, don't sing it out loud though.
Yeah. Please, 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 stay alive, stay alive. Please, 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 stay alive. That is still my favorite. That's my all-time.
Like joyfully singing, like staying alive, like they're getting into it. Like, yeah, staying alive.
Yeah.
Somebody's in front of them. Like, oh no.
That's my favorite Office scene. Is that one where they have a dummy?
What?
There's an Office scene where they're using a resuscitation dummy, and she's telling them to do staying alive. And it's the one where then they get done, and he's like, she's like, all right, well, you guys didn't do it, because they're all arguing with each other and stuff. And she's like, okay, well, so, he didn't make it. And Dwight's like, okay, they didn't do this. Or they didn't make it. What's the first thing that you need to do? Wrong. We need to harvest the organs. So he pulls out a knife. He pulls out a knife and cuts out, like, it starts cutting the chest. And then it cuts to a scene where he's wearing the mask. He's cut the face on. He starts saying, "Hello, Clarice." Yeah, that's a great one.
They they cut it open and tried to do like heart compressions or something, and the person's like, "What are you doing?" But yeah, it was that where it was organ harvest.
Yeah, I was like, that's awesome.
It's crazy.
Good times. All right. Let's see. Well, I got a little bit of this.
Tater said, remember the training. Do what
That's
you're doing and go to the fire. They banned it.
What's that from? I don't know what that's from. It sounds really familiar. Remember your training. All right, here. I think I'm going to put a little of this purple wash on here for a shadow.
Is the cold opening of the episode you were talking about.
Oh, is it? That's funny.
Dress. Fired. These are different YouTube clips. Dwight starts a fire to test everyone.
Oh, okay. I do remember that now.
So Bandit, I guess, is a cat. Angela is trying to frozen cat.
Angela.
Because she tries to throw the cat. It looks like she's trying to throw the cat through a ceiling.
Ceiling tile? Or, yeah. That show is great. I love that show.
Bandit is Angela's cat that she's stashed away in one of the cabinets. Angela throws Bandit after Austin. We just find in this game.
Okay. That's funny. It's been a while since I've seen the whole thing. That is funny. I do remember that. I do remember like throwing the cat in the ceiling. That's great stuff. Okay.
Looks like spring officially begins Thursday. This Thursday. Tater said he laughed so hard through that entire episode.
Yeah. And both versions. The British version is good too.
Yeah, the British.
Yeah, I started actually with the British. And I was raised on the British. But yeah, that one's... There's a really good spoof too where they've got Martin, whoever plays in The Hobbit, and also is in the British. and they do it as if it's Lord of the Rings, like he's yeah.
What am I thinking? Yeah, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, you were thinking Morgan Freeman.
I was like, wait a minute.
Great
I was
actors,
thinking Martin.
Slightly
when
different.
I said it, I thought like, oh no,
they're essentially the same
Morgan.
person. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, they're totally. Oh, Andy. Oh, Gandalf was going to be the longest night of his life. Everything was fine until Gandalf ran into a couple of bull queers, called themselves the Sisters. Sorry, it's Morgan Freeman, Randy from Shawshank Redemption. You may not know.
Okay. I assumed that.
Oh, Gandhi. Oh, Gandhi. That's right. All right. So, what can we do next? What we got? See, that's probably a good place for us to bring this to a close. Randy, I appreciate you taking the time and effort today to help me troubleshoot these issues so that we could get you on audio. And Tater, thanks for hopping in as always, brother. Appreciate that. I remember everybody like, share, and subscribe. Check out the vitals down in the descriptions. And Randy, I'll probably be twitching. I'm probably going to start trying to do maybe a daily Twitch stream. Still working out some of the time. So if you ever get a chance, feel free to hop over And if you ever are inclined, you can, we hop on audio. We now know how to easily do that. So.
Yep. Sounds good.
All right. Well, remind everybody to be never cowardly, never cruel, never give up, never give in. And I will talk with you guys very, 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 very soon. And, make sure that you don't let any of the zombies bite you out there. Bow, bow, bow. Don't let the zombies bite you. Don't let the zombies bite
Everybody.
you. Bye.
Love y'all. Bye. Yep. Still streaming. It's ended on YouTube, but it was streaming. Oh wait.